Hey, can't mess with you. Welcome to week 2, part 2 of Nature Adventures with your boy Jacob. So, today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going on a little adventure here. I got my bike, I got green forests, and we're going to be learning a bit about herbology. So, essentially, what we're going to be looking for is plants. And I'm going to be telling you all about what plants are what, and how you can recognize them, and if they're dangerous, if they're nummy, if they're nothing special. And like this right here, let's start it off. Let's start off on a good note. Look at this. You see this? Now what is this? And if you can guess it right away, then I'm very impressed. But if not, these are blackberry bushes. You can tell because the leaves have sharp edges all around, very obvious veins. And look, blackberries only really spring towards the end of the summer and like fall. But look, you already see the little blackberries growing. Look at them, little baby blackberries everywhere. I gotta take this thing into the woods. We're gonna find some more dope plants. And I'll see you later. Now guys, we're in a beautiful forest now. All kinds of plants all around us. So we're gonna go looking. Look at this. Look what I just found. A blue jay feather. Beautiful. So we're gonna be looking around for plants. And like, take this thing for example. Look at this. Now this, you see them all over the place. It's called a common lady fern, or just ferns. People call them ferns, and you see them all over the place. Like, you guys can get a load of this. Look, here, got some here, here, here. They're invasive. They go all over the place. Nuts. But interesting facts about them. 2, first, they're really good at absorbing moisture. So if you go out camping and you hate getting a wet butt from like sleeping on the floor, and then the camping like tent bottom doesn't really keep out any moisture, what you can do, take a bunch of them, and you're not going to be in short supply because they're everywhere, is you take a bunch of them, lay them on the floor where you want to go, and then you lay your tent on top of that, and then it absorbs the moisture really well, so your bottom of your tent is a lot less wet. Second interesting fact, and I actually only learned this today, is that the bottom of these ferns, so like the stem, is actually poisonous. So most people don't usually eat them because they don't look very tasty. Maybe in a salad or something, but don't do that because the bottom is poisonous enough to make you vomit. Nobody wants that. No food's good if you have to barf it out after. So while I was just strolling through the woods, I was getting attacked by bibettes, horseflies, deer flies. Now those pesky things, if you've ever been to camp or camping in camp, you've probably been a victim too. And it was very unpleasant. They like swarm around your head. They like keep running into you like they're blind, and they just like, ugh, they want to like have a death wish or something. And so I came back home, got some repellent spray because it was very unpleasant. And I also learned a few things about horseflies, so I'm gonna share it with you. Just because they're attracted to movement. So the whole time I'm here, get away from me, I'm moving them, trying to hit them with my hat so they go away, and I'm just bringing more. I'm calling them up. I'm saying, hey everybody, we got a feast going on over my head, dinner for 50, come on, come and get it. And that's what was happening. It was just getting worse and worse. Apparently a trick is to move still because they hunt with their eyeballs. So if they don't see any movement, they're not going to come at you, supposedly. And stay away from watery areas. And the third one is a pretty funny one. If you're with someone taller, or walk with someone taller, because they always go for the taller person, because they just seem to do that. So if I'm in bad luck here, because I'm like 6'3", so all the bibbits, they're gonna be coming to me. Right now I'm all alone, but even if I was with someone, unless he was like Andre the Giant, I'd be the victim. So all of you average to shorter people, look for a taller buddy and he'll take them off your hands. So during my excursion today, I was really hoping to find something like poison ivy, something like cool that I could show you guys that would really like, you know, it also benefit you guys to know what it looks like so that you don't touch it. But coming across, looking around, pretty hard to find. It's not everywhere you see it. I'll give you a few pointers and then I'll show you this plant next to me. That's pretty cool. Poison ivy it's like in pairs of 3 leaves, and it looks a lot like the blackberry leaves I showed you earlier, where you have 1 main leaf and then 2 side leaves like that. So it comes out in a pair of 3, and the top leaf is always longer. So you'll have like the top leaf, and then you'll have lower at the bottom of the stem the 2 other leaves, and you'll have that. And towards the beginning of the summer, it's very red. It's like very reddish, kind of like what you see here, but that's not the same leaf at all. But it's got that reddish tint to it. The leaves on the sides, it can be jagged a bit or it can be smooth, and the top is very glossy, so it's got a very glossy leaf. Anyway, so while I was looking around for that, it's harder to find than I expected, but that's a good thing for us. But on my way, I found this thing. And if I'm not mistaken, that is called a black willow plant. It grows up into a tree, and apparently it has painkiller properties to it. It used to be used in like kind of herbal remedies to help as a painkiller. And now it's mainly used for like lumber, because eventually it grows into a big tree, and food for animals. I'll let you know if yeah, this is on the side of my lawn too. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? I'll let you know if I find anything that resembles poison ivy. So, on our quest to find poison ivy, we found something just as interesting. Look at this. See these kind of purple, dark purple-ish plants there? This here, similar looking to poison ivy and almost just as dangerous. These things are called devil's darning plants, and they're also highly toxic, so not to be consumed. And even touching, although poison ivy, you get burnt and stuff when you touch it, so like you'll touch it, blisters on your hand, rashes, itchy. This thing, it can be itchy, and it can be dangerous when handling it. So you want to use gloves, but it's mainly dangerous when you eat it. So don't eat it. It can be very dangerous. Touching it might not be the best idea. Look, here's some more of it. And just like poison ivy, it grows along the forest edge. Grows along the forest edges. It's got kind of a glossy look to it. I think the main distinction we can make between these two is, you see how the leaves are like pointy? And they kind of come out kind of like a fork. Like you got one spike, the middle one, and the side spike. Now, poison ivy doesn't have that. It might have spikes on the side, but it doesn't look. More of it here, all along the forest edges, often close to water sources. And now there's a little stream, right? Well, we can't see anymore. It's pretty dried out, but all along. Usually, if a plant has a reddish tint and you don't know what you're looking for, chances are you won't want to touch it. Now, if you see a reddish looking plant like this, like devil's darning, but you're unsure if it's poison ivy or what it is, a good tell is if it's in bloom. You see that white flower? That white flower there is a clear tell that we're dealing with a devil's darning and not a poison ivy. Thank you very much. Alrighty folks, so unfortunately and fortunately, in a way, we didn't find no poison ivy. I looked and it was pretty hard to find, but you know the basics of where to find it. At least you know how to recognize it and what kind of plants to stay wary about. So we're gonna end the activity today. Thank you for participating, thank you for coming, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next week on Nature Adventures with Jacob.